Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you, well, a little bit late this morning, or almost late this morning, for a album review. And this is for the new AFI album Bodies that I finally found. I had to look them up song by song just to download these songs or whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna discuss what I listened to for this album for the 36-minute runtime it was going for, and let you know my thoughts on what I listened to for these past 36 minutes of listening to it. So let's dive into this review. Now, like I said, this album is very short. It's under the 40-minute marker of being short. So, yeah. What did I think of the album overall? Well, I can say this. They released too many fucking singles. I don't think that was a good idea on their part, because it really spoiled the album too much. And we were the only songs we were gonna be hyped for was On Your Back, Back from the Flesh, Death of the Party, and No Eyes. Everything else, we just got them as singles, and the other 7 songs were just singles, and I was a little disappointed in AFI's decision that they had to release these songs like quickly before the album dropped. And today's release date for the album. And I found this album to be a little overwhelming and kind of a tad bit boring. A tad bit, not very boring to where I hate it. But yeah, Davey Havoc's vocals in this sound really lazy in most of this album. Um, Twisted Tongues wasn't so bad. Far Too Near I really liked. After that, Dulceria, I still feel the same on when I rated it. I'm giving it a 4.5 out of 5. It's not a bad song, it's just the verses are not very good with how he's singing the verses. Davey Havoc. It just sounds really falsetto and really cringy through. But the chorus actually brings it back to life, the song. So I'm like, okay, the chorus is better. But On Your Back is another song that was alright. I'm giving that a 4.5 out of 5, even though it's one of the new songs I haven't heard that's on the album. But it's not a bad song. Escape from Los Angeles, I still feel the same about it when I reviewed it back in January of this year. Um, it's a decent song. It's not their best, but it's decent. At best, I guess you could say. Begging for Trouble was. There was a lot of short songs on this album, and that really. They could have prolonged some of these songs, but I don't think it would have sounded better, but yeah, we're just. I guess we just got what they don't wanted us to listen to, or whatever, for these 11 songs. Looking Tragic, I really liked. Um, Back from the Past, or Back from the Flesh, I meant to say. I said pass. Please forgive me on that. I'm slurring my words and saying the wrong words. Uh, Back from the Flesh was one of the weaker songs. It felt very lazily and boring, and I just wasn't a big fan of it. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 just to be nice. But yeah, Death of the Party is another weak song on the album. Uh, there's quite a bit of weak songs, a few weak songs, but the other 7 songs are not so bad, but could have done a bit better. Like No Eyes, I kind of enjoyed Davey Havoc's vocal potential in the song. or his range in the song. It didn't sound so bad. But Tied to a Tree is the final track on the album, which we got that as a single like a little over 2 weeks ago. And definitely go check out my review for it. I did mention my concerns about what I thought of their decision making for releasing 7 fucking singles. And yeah, uh, it's too many singles. And it really spoiled the album and how it's gonna sound. So they pretty much gave us most of the album before the album even dropped. So they probably could have added a few more songs on the album, but or maybe added a deluxe edition or something, but this is what we're getting. So overall, I think AFI Bodies was okay, or decent at best. I'm not sure what I'm gonna rate it, but it's an okay album, I guess you could say. But it's not something I'd come back to all the time. I'd come back to it once in a while if I want to listen to it, but it's not an album I'm gonna remember at the end of 2021. To be honest, I found this album to be overwhelming, in my opinion. But for a score, I think I'm going to give AFI Bodies a 6.5 out of 10. This was okay. I was going to give it a 7, but I don't think it deserves a 7 due to the fact that we got too many singles from the album. Some of the songs on the album were a little lazy. Even the newer songs were a bit lazy. And just, it was a little underperformed. And a slight bit boring of an album. So it's a slugfest to get through. But that's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with me on it. It's just how I felt when I was listening to this AFI album. But it'll be on my okay to meh albums of 2021 by the end of the year. It'll probably make it at the top list of it, but no, I just probably wouldn't come back to it that often. Uh, so it's kind of a forgettable album. But definitely comment below. Let me know what you guys thought of the new AFI album, Bodies, if you've heard it. And if you did like this album review, and keep in mind it's just my opinion on what I thought of the album, I would have given it a decent rating, like a 7 out of 10, but I really don't think it deserves a 7 due to the fact that we got some too many singles from the album. So that's where I had to drop the rating down to a 0.5. Uh, under a 0.5, so minus 0.5 of what it could have gotten. But if you did like this uh, album review, and like I said, comment below, let me know what you guys thought of the new AFI Bodies album if you've heard it. If I did say that already, please forgive me. I'm starting to forget if I said it or not. But if you did like this album review, like I said, comment below and let me know your thoughts on it. Tap like on this video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you can. Support the channel. I will be returning to you again, I think in a little bit, for the Flora Cash's EP review. I gotta see what the title of it is again, and then I'll review it, because it's only like 4 songs long, so it's really not that long. So I'm not going to be spending a lot of time listening to it, probably like a little over 10 minutes. So, yeah, but I was a tad bit disappointed with this album. It could have been a lot better, but this is what we're getting. And I can understand why some critics find it to be boring. And it's AFI not at their best. It's at their worst, to be honest. And they really could have stepped up their game. And like with the Blood album, I think that was alright, but it wasn't fantastic. Burials was their last best album. And now with the new album, Bodies, in 2021, AFI is just, they just are a little washed down now, and washed out with their music and all that. They're not a bad band, but I wouldn't say they're my favorite band anymore. They're kind of at the weaker spot of my favorite bands. Like, certain songs on the album didn't do so bad, but yeah, it's just the matter of releasing so many singles is what really brought the rating down for this album, in my personal opinion. But I hope you did enjoy this album review that I made for you guys this morning for AFI's Bodies. I did the best I could to make it as good as possible. Definitely stay safe, take care, and I'll see you in my next review.